So I just realized we're like a few months away from Grand Theft Auto 6 finally coming out. And honestly, I'm not even like excited anymore. I feel like the whole talk of it all has just ran it down. And I remember back in the day when a new game came out, there was like lines out the door at midnight. People were all excited about it. And it seems like now gaming and like the modern UFC have just taken a dive. Like they're just straight up boring now. And there's a few reasons why I think each is boring. But let's take like Grand Theft Auto for example. Back when Grand Theft Auto 4 came out, people were stoked. It was all everyone talked about at school. It was like the thing. Like everyone was like talking about their plan to get it. People were waiting in lines till midnight. People were it was everywhere. It was what people were talking about. And the idea of just getting the game early was like just such a like people were game planning on how they were going to get the game early, what they were going to do, just like tents outside. It was just a different time. And now with like games and even the UFC, everything is like digital. You don't have to like go out and get it somewhere. I remember the UFCs used to go like out with your boys and go to like a Buffalo Wild Wings to watch the fights, and like you'd be at this like Buffalo Wild Wings, like everyone's there to watch the fights. It was like an event, and you hear everyone cheering, and just like you knew which guys were rooting for which fighter. And now everything's just like people are just streaming it on their phone now with like the Paramount app or whatever. And everyone's more isolated, and it's just a different time really. Like when Grand Theft Auto 4 came out, you and your boys, if you got your hands on a copy, it was like you were all going to the one friend's house that got it, that was crazy enough to stay out till midnight and snuck out or whatever he had to do. And then you were playing it 24/7 at his house, or maybe just watching your friend play it even. And now with like the modern gaming, everything comes out so fast. Everything comes out, and it seems like the hype of a game is like dead within like a month or two. Like I remember when the last Black Ops or the last Call of Duty came out, and I got it and I was like pretty excited for it. But after playing it for a while, I was like, I don't know, I couldn't get into it. I couldn't, and a lot of it is just the greed. And I think this is the same problem that the UFC is happening. Like modern gaming and the modern UFC just kind of suck now, and like the greed has just pulled all the positivity and all the good stuff out of it. First of all, with gaming, it's like most of the games they come out and like they're almost like broken or unfinished, like they're glitchy, and they're just trying to rush them out, and then they'll just do patches later. But the worst thing in my opinion about the modern games now is you buy the game. You don't own the game anymore. You buy the game. Usually you download it digitally, which kind of sucks. It takes up like a bunch of memory, and you can't go play the game at a friend's house or whatever. If you buy it, it's like stuck at your house or whatever. But the microtransactions are crazy. It's like games today, they don't feel like they're about like being fun or having a good time. It seems like it's more about like how many dollars can the game creator just like melt out of the customer. Like it's all about like they're trying to sell you these like stupid skins and stuff. And I've never been one to like go pay extra for a game for some stuff like that. But it seems like that's like all it's about anymore. And the UFC, it's just kind of like they've had this focus on profit over passion. I feel like the UFC really peaked. This might sound stupid, but I think it peaked when like they stopped letting the fighters wear like their own sponsorships on their shorts. Like I think it was like a time when the Reebok deal happened. Like let me look at that up. When did the Reebok deal happen? I remember like back in the day, you'd watch fighters fight, and like you kind of knew what kind of person the fighter was by what sponsors they went into the ring with. Like they had like, I don't know, there's like the Diaz brothers, and they had like their Metal Militia shorts and like Monster Energy, and like you could just kind of get a read on what the kind of fighter they were. And then now it's like these fighters, everyone's wearing the same stuff. Everyone looks the same. And it's just lame now. It's like not how it used to be. It looks like the Reebok deal was in 2014. So I kind of think that's when the UFC kind of started a downward trend. And what's really interesting with the UFC is like, I think another part of it, and this is UFC and video games, it's just they're just oversaturated. Like the video games, they're just pushing out too many games. A lot of them come out unfinished. And then the UFC, it's like the events are just, it's like every weekend there's another Apex card and there's 10 guys from Russia on it who you don't know their name. It just feels like oversaturated now at this point. And it's like there's too much going on. Like there's just, and they don't hype the fights up like they used to. And it's more about like, they try to just talk about like the star power of the fighter rather than like telling the fighter's story. It used to be like a lot more where the fighter was from and their style of fighting. And now it's just like, oh, this is this guy. He's the next McGregor, pretty much. It seems like after McGregor came around, every fighter's trying to like ride off that. Like Ilya Topuria, he's like, I hate to say it, but it kind of feels like he's just like trying to be a copycat of McGregor. Like he did the same belts, he's got the same tattoo. It's like it's straight up goofy actually. So that's kind of what's going on with the UFC. It seems like oversaturated at this point, and a lot of the cards are now just kind of like, I don't know, I just don't get excited for it like I used to, and maybe that's just me getting older, but I feel like it's not the same as it was when I was younger. Like the fights were way more hyped. Another thing is like this weekend, for example, you got Khazmat Chimaev fighting Sean Strickland. That's like the main event this weekend. I feel like I should be excited for this fight. And I was trying to watch like some of the embeddeds and like get myself a little more hyped up for it. But it's just, they're just lame. The embeddeds are lame now. The card, it looks like it's actually going to be a really good card, it looks like. And I could see a lot of people are saying Chimaev's just going to win. He's just going to out-wrestle him. And I think Sean might have a chance in this one. I could see like Chimaev getting tired in the later rounds and maybe Sean pulling away and pulling out a crazy upset. But the thing the UFC seems like it's missing now is there's no storytelling. Like these embeddeds, they just show the fighters like just doing some stuff. And they don't really go into like the story of like how they started training, why they started training, their first coach, their first style. Like they just had a clip of like Sean Strickland like doing construction work at his house. Like he just like rented a tractor and he's just like moving crap out of his backyard and like breaking down a wall. And it's like, why would you film that for content? Like that's not entertaining at all. Another thing with the UFC is like it became so focused on profits. Like the video to promote these new events, they just throw some AI slop out there. Like the White House card is supposed to be like the biggest card of the year, probably the biggest card in a few years. It's like you have fighters fighting at the White House. This should be a time when people are more excited than ever about the UFC. But the promotional idea for it was to pretty much just have like AI slop make some crap for it. And that's what I feel like is just wrong with like modern UFC and modern gaming. And it just kind of sucks now. It's just, I'm not trying to be like a doomer or anything like that, but it seems just so phony and so much more about profit than like putting out a good product anymore. Like to have your biggest fight ever, and instead of like doing a real promo, they're just using AI now. Like it's just gotten lame. And part of this is just corporate greed. It seems like corporate greed has like sucked its way into everything. And maybe this is just what eventually happens to things over time, but the UFC and gaming both have just been like so focused on margin and like greed, and it just kind of has like ruined what made gaming good, what made the UFC good. It seems like it's like, it used to be like the last place to like escape corporate greed. It was like, oh, I'm just going to go play a video game and forget about the world. Oh, the fights are on this weekend. Like I always felt like the NFL and the NBA, they were more controlled and like political and more corporate involved, like with the sponsors and whatnot. But the UFC just felt like the last, like the Wild West of like sports for just being its own thing, it was just purely about entertainment. And I know there's always been profit, and they always talk about they don't pay the fighters enough. But right now it just seems like even the seats, like I think at this last event, the Sean Strickland fight versus Chimaev, they haven't sold the seats for the event because they're not promoting the fights like they used to, and the tickets are so expensive. No one can afford these crazy ticket prices. Like it's like they took something that used to be for the everyman and they kind of turned it into this like glitz glamour thing for the ultra wealthy, and it's kind of fallen on its head now. Like, I know I'm not the only one who thinks this way about, like, especially gaming. Like, gaming has just been on a decline lately. It feels like with a lot of these newer games, there's like just a total lack of innovation, just like a lazy design. And then there's this term going around in these new games. It's like they're more sweaty than old games. Like, I've tried playing the newer Call of Duties, and you're just like sprinting and running, and everyone's like jumping through the air. And it's just not what it used to be. It's like, I don't know, Call of Duty 4, Modern Warfare 2. To me, those are like that whole time period. I think Black Ops 1, that's like where the Call of Duty kind of peaked. There used to be like a Medal of Honor, Battlefield. Those games used to be good too, but it just seems like these newer shooters, they're not really innovative, and they kind of have a lazy design. I tried getting into what's it called? Arc Raiders. It was like a cool concept for a game, but it just felt kind of tacky, like the shooting side of it, the controls of it. I was a little bit excited when I saw that Marathon game was coming out. It was like Bungie's version of Arc Raiders, essentially. It was supposed to be like Halo, but like Arc Raiders, like that kind of game, but the Halo themed. And I didn't even buy it. I like watched a few videos on it, and then I just like, I'm gonna buy this. I'm gonna play it for like 2 hours and just be over it and be like, what am I doing with my life? And that's kind of what happened now with the gaming and the UFC. I'll be like watching some of these UFC cards that are up, so they play them so late at night, so you got to stay up super late. And then by the time I'm getting to the main event, it's like, what am I doing? It's like, it's 1:30 in the morning. I got stuff to do tomorrow. And I'm watching these two guys in their freaking underwear fight. For what? And this is what gaming feels like too. It's like you get this game, you sit down, you try to enjoy it. And I feel like these modern games are just not even very enjoyable. And that's kind of what hit me with, like, I'm just going to play like the old games. Like, I still play Modern Warfare, Call of Duty. Great game. It's fun to play. I can play it for like an hour or two and have a good time. Maybe not 2 hours, but play it for a while, have a good time. And it seems like it feels like how it used to feel with gaming. Like, it's fun. It's competitive. I mean, some of these games, there's like too outdated and there's like hackers and stuff. But for the most part, it just feels like the modern games and the modern UFC just absolutely sucks now. I'm not sure if I'm the only one who feels like this, but I'm interested in what you guys think. I'm interested in who you guys have picked out this weekend for the UFC card. We got Khazmat Chimaev versus Sean Strickland. I'm going with Sean Strickland. I think he's going to pull away in the later rounds. So I think I'm going to get some hate for this, but I think Sean Strickland really does have a chance here. I think Khazmat will like shoot a takedown right out the gate. He's probably going to take these shots like he always does. He takes them from really far away. He's a great wrestler. I'm not taking that away from him. But the way he shoots, it's like he's using the most energy you could use in wrestling. He essentially shoots a double leg from far away. He doesn't set it up with his hands, and he dives like headfirst at your legs. And I feel like the reason a lot of guys don't sprawl on it is because he times them so they're too close to the cage for them to sprawl. And it works for him, but he uses so much energy getting these guys down. And I don't think it's going to work with Sean Strickland. I think he'll end up getting Sean down a couple times. I think Sean will get back up. And like after a couple rounds of him trying to take Sean down and Sean just popping back up, I feel like by the third round, you're going to see Khazmat just like gasping for air. And then Sean's just going to slowly start pulling away. Another thing is like Sean's going to use that jab to the body to like take Khazmat's air. He's going to be peppering him with the jab to the body and the teeps, like the teeps up the middle. And then also knees. Like when he fought Hernandez, he was throwing some beautiful knees. I wouldn't be surprised if he catches him with a knee when Khazmat goes for a takedown. Like he might catch him on the jaw with a knee as he goes for the takedown. I think Sean's going to just slowly start piecing him up with the jabs, the teeps, and the knees. Just straight shots up the middle, real calm, real good demeanor, using that Philly shell, and just slowly outworking Khazmat with the strikes. And then Khazmat, I'm not putting down his striking. He's got some good striking. But if you watch him strike, same thing as the takedowns. He uses way too much energy. and way too much movement with his striking. He's kind of like bouncing around too much. He's not as relaxed and like settled in his striking. And that's just like a high energy style to fight. Like if it was just a 3-round fight, I think Khazmat would do great. But in the UFC, it's weird because every fight's going to be 3 rounds until you fight for the championship. And I think that's such a weird thing for a sport to have, where it's like in basketball, every game's the same time, even the championship game. But for some reason in the UFC, the championship fight, they make it 5 rounds. And that really throws a curveball in it. Like fighting for 3 rounds versus fighting for 5 rounds. It's like a whole different pace you got to put on there, especially once you involve the wrestling. Like wrestling is exhausting, especially if you're shooting like double legs and setting up these explosive takedowns from far out. If you're wrestling and you're using like foot sweeps or arm drags, it's a lot easier to keep your pace. But the way Khazmat fights, I could see him getting tired. I don't see him putting Sean away. So I think we'll see Sean slowly pull away in the later rounds. We got Joshua Van versus Tatsuro Taira. And this one's getting interesting. This is the co-main event. This one I think I could see going either way. But I kind of think Tatsuro Taira is going to pull away. We're going to see something amazing out of this Japanese guy. And I think Japan's going to get their first UFC title. And then before that, we got a heavyweight fight. Volkov and Waldo Cortez Acosta. This heavyweight fight's going to be an absolute scrap. I think I could see Waldo Cortez Acosta pulling away with like a knockout or a late round TKO. It's just with the heavyweights, you really never know what's going to happen. And then another banger on this card, either Sean Brady and Joaquin Buckley. And this one I could see going either way too. I'm leaning towards Buckley on this though. I feel like he's just like an athletic freak. I remember that knockout he has where he caught the guy's kick and just did a spinning back kick and like jumped in the air. I mean, you don't see guys like that very often. And then the last fight on the main card, you got King Green and Jeremy Stevens, a lightweight fight. It's a good matchup. I feel like I should be more excited for these fights, but it's just they don't hit like they used to. But on this one, I got King Green. I see him pulling away with a late decision, just better striking. But I'm interested in what you guys think. I want to hear your opinions. If you have any predictions for the UFC 328, let me know. And if you feel this way about like gaming and the UFC now, I'm interested. Am I the only one who's like seen this, or is everyone else seeing it too? Let me know.